Chapter 1, Nouns. Lesson 1. A little girl was sitting one day with a book in her hand, which she was studying with a woe-begotten countenance, when her mother came into the room. "Why, Mary," said her mother, "what is the matter? You look as if your book were not very entertaining." "No, indeed it is not," replied the child, who could scarcely help crying. "I never read such a stupid book. And look," she added, pointing to the pencil marks on the page, "what a long, hard lesson I have to learn. Miss Thompson says that now that I am 7 years old, I ought to begin to learn grammar. But I don't want to learn grammar. It is all nonsense. Only see what a number of hard words that I cannot understand." Her mother took up the book and observed that the lesson marked out for her to learn was not the beginning of grammar. "No, Mamma, the beginning is all about letters of the alphabet and spelling. But I am sure I know my letters, vowels, and consonants, too. And I can spell pretty well. So Miss Thompson said I might begin here." And she pointed out the place to her mother, who read as follows. "There is in the English language 9 sorts of words or parts of speech: article, noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection." When she had finished, Mary said, "Well, Mamma, is not all that nonsense?" "No, my dear, but it is very difficult for you to understand. So you may skip over that. Let's see what follows." Mary seemed much pleased, and her mother continued reading. "An article is a word prefixed to nouns to point them out and show how far their signification extends." "Well, Mamma, that's as bad as the rest. And if it is not real nonsense, it is nonsense to me at least, for I cannot understand it. So pray let's skip over that too. Let us see if something easier comes next," said her mother, and she went on reading. "A noun is the name of anything that exists. It is therefore the name of any person, place, or thing." Now, Mary, I think you can understand that. What is your brother's name?" "Charles," replied Mary. "Well, then, Charles is a noun, because it is the name of a person. And am I a noun as well as Charles, Mamma?" "I is not your name," replied her mother. "When I call you, I do not say, 'Come here, I.' Oh, no, you say, 'Come here, Mary.'" "Then Mary is a noun because it is your name. But sometimes you say, 'Come here, child.' Is child a noun as well as Mary?" "Yes, because you are called child as well as Mary. And when I am older, Mamma, I shall be called a girl and not a child." "And is girl a noun too?" "Yes, every name is a noun." "Then Papa is a noun, and Mamma is a noun, and little Sophie is a noun, and baby is her other noun, because it is her other name, and John and George. Oh, what a number of nouns! Well, I think I shall understand nouns at last." And her countenance began to brighten up. "There are a great number of other nouns," said her mother. "Sheep and horses, cats and dogs. In short, the names of all animals are nouns, as well as the names of persons." "But the grammar does not say so, Mamma?" "It is true," replied her mother, "that it does not mention animals, but when it says that a noun is the name of everything that exists, animals certainly exist, so they are included." Well, I think, Mamma, the grammar ought to have said persons and animals, or it might have said animals alone for persons or animals, Mary. Oh, yes, I know that men, women, and children are all animals, and they are all nouns as well as geese and ducks, woodcocks and turkeys. Oh, and my pretty canary bird, too. And I suppose the names of ugly animals, such as rats and frogs and toads and spiders, are nouns also? Certainly, replied her mother. But look, Mary, the grammar says that the name of a place is also a noun. What place, Mamma? All places whatever. A town is a place that people live in. Yes, said Mary, so London and Hampstead and York are nouns. But a house is a place people live in too, Mamma. Therefore, house is a noun as well as town. What is this place we are now sitting in called, Mary? It is called a room. So room is a place to sit in, and stable a place to keep horses in, and dairy a place to keep milk and butter in. And they are all nouns. And cupboard is a noun, Mamma, because it is a place to keep sweetmeats in. Certainly, replied her mother. Then the house and the garden and the church and the fields are nouns. What great nouns! Exclaimed Mary. And are little places nouns? Certainly, this little box is a place to hold sugar plums. Therefore, box is a noun. And the keyhole of a door is a place to put a key in. So keyhole is a noun. And drawer is a noun? I am quite sure, Mamma, for it is a place I keep my toys in. But, Mamma, I think the keyhole of a lock and the box for sugar plums are more like things than places. They are both, but things that are made to hold something, such as a drawer and a box, may also be considered as places, especially if they are made for the purpose of keeping the things they hold in safety. Oh, yes, said Mary. Papa's desk is a place where he keeps his letters and bills so carefully. You know, Mamma, I am never allowed to touch anything in it. Then there is the tea chest, which is a place and a thing, too. It is a very pretty thing and a very safe place, for you know you always keep it locked. Oh, I began to like nouns. They make me think of so many pretty things. I'm glad to hear it, my dear, said her mother, but I think we have had enough of them today. You must not learn too much at once, or you will not be able to remember what you learn. We shall find enough to say on nouns for a second lesson. Continuation of Nouns, Lesson 2. The following day Mary came skipping into the room with her grammar in her hand. Well, my dear, said Mother, I'm glad to see that your face is not quite so long as it was at the beginning of your last lesson. Oh, no, Mamma, said Mary. It is quite a different thing now that you talk to me about my grammar and explain it so nicely. I do not promise you, Mary, that it will always be entertaining. We cannot learn without taking pains, but if you understand what is taught to you, the pains are not very painful, she said, smiling. Well, you have now learned that nouns are the names of persons and of places, but the grammar says that they are also names of things. Oh, yes, I understand that, without any pains at all, Mamma. Do pray let me tell you what things are nouns. I hope you do not mean to name them all, said her mother, for as you know that everything is a noun, you would never have finished. Oh, no, replied Mary, I cannot name everything in the whole world, only some of those I know best. Table is a noun, and chair, and stool, and my doll, and my toys, too. But, Mamma, she cried, suddenly interrupting herself, if everything is a noun, what can the other parts of speech be? Everything is a noun, my dear, but not every word. The words for and pretty, for instance, are not nouns. No, said Mary, for the words for and pretty are neither persons, places, nor things, so they cannot be nouns. Well, but, Mamma, if I were to teach Sophie grammar, I mean when she's a little older, do you know how I should set about it? No, indeed, I cannot guess, said her mother, laughing. But I should be very curious to know what new method you have discovered, after such a profound study of grammar as you have made. Nay, Mamma, do not laugh at me, said Mary, half vexed. Well, come, tell me what your method is. Why, then, I should tell Sophie that a noun is the name of everything, and then it would be done at once. For when she knew that everything was a noun, there would be nothing more to learn about it. Your method, said Mother, is the most simple and correct. But do you not think that if she had learnt it thus all at once, she might forget it all at once also? Do you not think that all we have said about nouns and dividing them into classes of persons, places, and things has helped to imprint them on your memory? So it has, Mamma. I should not have remembered half so well what a noun was if we had not talked of so many and found out whether they belonged to persons, places, or merely things. Oh, Mamma, she continued, looking at the window, there is a noun called a carriage coming trotting down the hill so fast. Does the carriage trot, my dear? Oh, no, I mean the horses. But you know they are nouns, too, as well as the carriage. Horses are nouns because they are the names of animals, and a carriage is a noun because it's the name of a place or of a thing, she said, interrupting herself. But it is certainly not the name of a person. But, said her mother, there are some persons in the place, perhaps? Yes, said Mary. A carriage is a place that holds people, not things like a box or drawers. I think I may have seen things in a carriage, Mary. And felt them, too. Very inconveniently when we go into the country, and it is full of packages. But what is there in this carriage? I cannot tell yet, Mamma. It is too far off. Oh, now I see a gentleman and a lady, and they are nouns because they are persons, but I cannot see inside to know whether there are any parcels. And do you hear the sound of the carriage wheels? Yes, that I do, she replied. It makes a fine noise coming trotting on at such a rate. Well, then, noise is a noun, for whatever you can hear, see, taste, smell, or feel is a noun, and you can hear a noise. Mary looked astonished. Then, Mamma, she said, nouns are not only things of all kinds, but other words besides, for noise and sound are not things, at least not common things that we can see and touch, such as chairs and tables. That is true, said her mother. They are of a different nature, but they are still things. Do you not say a loud noise is a very disagreeable thing? A sweet sound is a pleasant thing? These nouns are certainly rather more difficult for you to understand than those which you call common nouns. But you must take pains to remember that whatever we discern by any of our five senses is a noun. Our five senses, repeated Mary. Those are seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and feeling. And by what sense do you discern those nouns which you call common, such as tables and chairs? Why, we see tables and chairs, and we can touch them too if we please. So we know them by two senses, seeing and feeling, and we discern the sound of a noise by the sense of hearing. Then, said Mary, thunder is a noun because I can hear it, and lightning is a noun because I can see it, and you are a noun, Mama, over and over again, for first you are a person, then I can see you and feel you when I touch you, and hear you when you speak, but I cannot smell you. Her mother then took out a handkerchief, and Mary exclaimed, "Oh, I can smell you now, so sweet!" And she jumped up on her mother's lap to smell the perfumed handkerchief. "I hope you're not going to taste me, Mary," said Mother, drawing back and laughing. Her mother then told her that a noun was often called a noun substantive. "What is that?" inquired Mary. "Everything that exists," replied she, "is a substantive, but you will understand that better by and by." Their attention was then caught by a carriage stopping at the door. "Oh, Mamma!" cried Mary, "they are getting out. It is Uncle and Aunt Howard. I am so glad. And Uncle and Aunt are nouns. And I hope the little nouns are come too. You know what I mean, Mamma, Emily and Mary." "We must go and meet them," said her mother. Mary ran on first and arrived at the door just in time to receive them.